Okay,
Okay.
everybody. We've heard about a lot of guys on a Thriving Thursday talk about how they released weight, but how do women release weight? Today we have Angela Hardin. I heard about her and the documentary Eating You Alive, and so we're going to learn everything about
The Lillian
the
McDermott
fears
Show.
of embracing good health. And we're going to continue today, so fasten your seatbelts. We're going to learn and grow together. You know what, Angela? I forgot to tell you, you're supposed to dance. It's dancing time on the McDermott radio show. Exercise for the morning.
You know where I'll be right here.
And everybody who's watching, dance with me. There we go. Like nobody's watching.
Right here waiting for you.
So if you're not dancing with me, do it again.
This is a place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, and my viewing friends will feel empowered to learn a new truth, embrace this new truth that we talk about on the show, and live the life of your dreams. And so today, we are going to pour a lot of love on this Thriving Thursday on Angela Hardin. I heard about her the first time. You've heard me talk about, no. You've heard me brag about the documentary Eating You Alive. We've had the director, producer, co-producer. We've had a lot of people that have been on the show or the documentary have been on the show to discuss their health journey. Well, today we get to hear from a woman because all the other guys have been talking about their weight. Yay! We're talking to a woman who understands the woman issues. And I was talking to Angela before the show and I said, I love to get the female perspective because, men can be overweight. Maybe they feel a different way than we do, but when we're overweight, there's shame associated with it. And so we're going to hear from Angela and her health journey and how she's doing 3 years later. And trust me, if you see her before and after pictures, not a cut on her before, but she has improved every aspect of her life, even though at the time she may have been very happy with who she is and she was still a beautiful woman, but now she's beautiful and healthy. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that Angela Hardin is here to do just that. Welcome, Angela, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and share my story.
Me too. So give us a little bit about your background and share a little bit about why you chose to take this step, because I know you were very scared at the beginning.
Oh my God, I was so scared. I am a creature of habit. So anything that is change is extremely scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit about me. I am a true Southern girl, born in Atlanta, Georgia. So in all aspects of being a Southern girl, I fried everything down to my pickles and my Oreos. And
that in your
we believe that you didn't have a meal without having cheese at the dinner table.
Mm-hmm.
So of course that was a scary thing. But beyond that, I didn't know how unhealthy I was until I got healthy. It's kind of, I've heard people say it's kind of like being in an abusive relationship that you didn't know was abusive until you got out of it. That's kind of how I felt about my health.
Wow.
I didn't know that what I was eating and the lifestyle I was living was slowly killing me until I got healthier. So I was having a lot of health issues, a lot of gallbladder issues. I was 30 years old. They put me on arthritis medication. They diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. They had me on sleeping pills, and I still didn't sleep very much at night. I had been on ADHD medicine since I was about 5. The gallbladder issues had gotten so extreme that they told me that I was going to need surgery, and I am scared to death of being put to sleep. So I was lucky enough to know the crew from Eating You Alive, and they had started the documentary and had started making the change. And I had seen such a change in them, not just the weight loss. I tell everyone the weight loss is a byproduct of me getting healthy.
Sure.
And I think that's why it has been so easy to stay on track with this, because I did this to live longer and get healthy. So I decided that instead of having surgery, I was going to give this food a change and see if it worked. And here we are 3 years later, and I couldn't be happier with my choice.
I'm honestly just, when I've seen pictures, like when you did the documentary, how long had it been from when you were talking about your fears of changing your lifestyle and your diet to the last scene when you're on there and we see your final transformation? How much time had gone by?
Probably between 1.5 years and 2 years.
Wow,
and
that's
so
how long?
and that has actually, yes, and that's actually been almost, I would say, 10 months to a year from now. So I even look different now than I did in my last scenes of the documentary.
Absolutely. And I will agree to that. And I was stunned when I saw your picture that we posted on Facebook. Ashley does a really good job on my infographics. And I was just so pleased that she picked a current picture, because you look healthy and fabulous. We're going to make healthy look fabulous because you're the model of it. And we're going to continue our conversation today. We're talking about, today's a Thriving Thursday show because she has lived it. She can share from her own experience what it was like to step into this unknown thing called a change of lifestyle. And we're going to continue with Angela Hardin when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Great job. Great job. Good start. Good start. So don't worry so much about the mic. Just let it pick it up. Yeah. So, today, this is your first interview. I'm so excited that outside of Eating Your Life. Now, who did you know that were people? I thought you maybe your circle of friends. When I was looking at your bio, I read that your circle of friends were beginning to change their lifestyle. And that's what made you decide that you wanted to do it too. Are you friends with Mary?
I am. I have known Mary Lee and Paul David for about 6 years prior to making this change. I worked with them. They were my film crew at my last job.
Oh.
So I met them through work, and we immediately hit it off. And I mean, we text all the time. They came to my kids' graduation party. I mean, we're truly friends. And so anytime they start new projects, I get to hear about the new projects and, from a friend perspective. So when I heard about this one, I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm not interested in making that change, but I'll watch you guys do it, and good luck with that. And then the more I started trying the food, I started coming home and telling my husband, like, this actually tastes good. Can you, this is a vegan cake. There's no eggs. There's no butter. It's made out of sweet potatoes. Who thinks of that? And I think just watching that transition and seeing from, they were never preachy about it, which I know a lot of us vegans do that. And we don't mean to be, we mean it from a loving place, but they were never about that. They just kind of let me sit back and watch. And I think that was more motivational to me than anything.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, because when you are a walking example, you don't have to say a word, because people want what you have and you don't have to say a word. It's the moment we talk about it, which I am so guilty of. I did that with my husband. I do that with my husband a lot. And that just puts him in like, what are you trying to change? I don't want to change, especially if you are not embracing of the change. So that's a great point. There's a Bible verse or a saying that says, read the Bible.
I'll be
Preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words. Preach the gospel at all times, if necessary.
Or leave her a voicemail at 407
I like
373 5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we learn and grow with one another. Today's teacher is Angela Hardin. And I'm just telling you right now, there's going to be a nationwide release for the documentary Eating You Alive. And I'm not a paid spokesperson at all. I just love this documentary because I know it'll be a change for many. It's so educational. Angela was featured in this documentary throughout, talking about her fears, talking about her culture, talking about all her beliefs, her limiting beliefs. And at the end, bam, you get to see what the transition that occurred in her. I'm not going to try to give out the end, but here she is to talk about her life and her journey of health. We're not going to talk about releasing weight. That's a byproduct, as she said. So April 5th, there is a nationwide release for this documentary. Please mark your calendars. Let's see if we can maybe do something in Jacksonville or Brevard County or wherever where we can all come together and watch this documentary. You go to Phantom. Do you know about that, Angela? It's called Phantom.
I think it's Phantom Events.
Phantom Events. That's it. Thank you for that. And I believe it's at 7:00. So, Angela, let's start from the very beginning. Now, you said that you're a Southern girl, and everything was fried, even your Oreos and pickles. And so with that in mind, as you were growing up, let's talk about your family dynamics about food, what you were taught about food.
Well, we were taught that you have cheese at every meal. There's always meat. There's not a meal without meat, or at least that's what my grandparents said. And like I said, we fried everything. I was always an overweight child, as well as a teenager. Like now I am smaller than I was when I was in the 5th grade. Like that just blows my mind. But we weren't taught any nutrition at all. We had milk at every meal. I mean, I remember my dad drinking milk with dinner. We never even thought about where milk came from. We never thought about any of the nutritional value of food at all. I think the most nutritional thing we had was my grandparents had a garden. And so we had fresh tomatoes and the squash and things that they grew, but we even fried tomatoes. We fried our squash. Nothing was eaten just pure as it was. I can remember growing up that my sister liked her broccoli just barely steamed with no butter and no salt. And we thought that she was the strangest person in our family because who eats their broccoli that way? Except now that's exactly how we eat our broccoli. No salt, no nothing. It's just delicious the way it is. But, growing up, family time was all about meals. My grandmother always cooked the most amazing food. And I was the only, my sisters and I have a different dad. So with my grandmother, I was the only girl. So needless to say, I was spoiled rotten. Whatever I wanted at dinner time or breakfast time, my grandmother made for me. She was famous for making her buttermilk biscuits and chocolate gravy. Mm-hmm. So if you're from the South, you may know what chocolate gravy is. If you are not, it is butter, milk, and cocoa cooked together like you would a gravy and served on top of buttermilk biscuits. Yes, it's just all the bad things, except for now I've made a vegan version and people cannot tell the difference, which is absolutely amazing.
That's wonderful. Isn't it great? That's the fun part of changing our lifestyles, that we can create whatever we want to create, right?
We can. That is so much fun. It's like an experiment every time we step in the kitchen.
Yes. So let's talk about your body image and how you felt about yourself. Now, you're looking now backwards and you're saying, I'm smaller now than I was in the 5th grade. But let's take a look at that journey of self. Was it self-loathing, or was this self-acceptance? Was this is the way it is in my family? Everybody is overweight, or was everybody overweight? What did you see in your environment?
The majority of us were overweight. I had one aunt who helped raise me that was very thin, but always thought she was overweight. And I'm talking very thin as in she probably wore a size 2, but everything with her was about food and calories. I remember when I was probably 12, they took me to Disney World for the first time, and she ate a whole cheeseburger by herself. And that was the first time in my entire life I had seen her eat an entire meal.
Wow.
So I didn't really have a lot of healthy habits surrounding me either in my family. But back to me and the size that I didn't know I was as large as I was. And that may sound strange, and I hope some people can connect with me on that. But I knew that I was buying a size 20 in the store. I knew that I needed a 2 or a 3X in a shirt. But my excuse was always, these clothes are missized. There's no way that it's really that size. It's just, they make clothes smaller and smaller every year. It never clicked with me that, no, you're just getting bigger and bigger. Now I look back in pictures and I think I cannot believe that I was that size and didn't even know it. My children say the same thing. They didn't even realize that I was the size I was until now that they look back at photos. As women, when we carry weight, people like to say, oh, but you have such a pretty face.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember being told that all the time, like, you have such a pretty face. And I, at the time, didn't even realize that that's a backhanded comment or compliment of, you have a pretty face. You would look great if you lost weight. But here in the South, people don't even really say that because we're so overweight here. It's kind of the norm. My husband made me feel like I was the most beautiful person walking the earth. So I didn't even realize that not only I was as large as I was, but that I was doing the damage to my body that I was doing until I started losing weight. And it was just, now I look back and think, I cannot believe that I ever got to that point.
Well, let's talk about that. So when you, in the documentary, you're feeling scared. That was your biggest, I would say the biggest feeling I felt from you was fear. What were you afraid of? Have you thought of that?
Well, I was afraid of change.
Okay.
I was afraid of change and the unknown. I don't know why it is that we as humans, I think, put so much emphasis on the way food makes us feel. And I think that as I believe any person that's overweight, there's a reason why we're overweight.
Sure.
There is a reason that we have attached to the food. There is a reason that we are, maybe staying at home, not going out as often. We sit at home and we eat, and then nobody sees what we're eating, so we don't have to acknowledge it or accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with me, there was a lot of internal things that I had to work through as to why I wasn't dealing with some emotions or why it was so easy to cover things up with food.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a journey that I had to go through as well, kind of the self-love, excuse me, the self-love part of it. It was, excuse me, it was so easy to just mask everything because I was overweight and I was jolly and I was accepting of that and making a change and potentially having to face any of those emotions that I had tied to food was very scary to me.
That's a good point. And I think that when we are in the process of something new, we change the newness into a fear because we don't know what's going to happen. And to me, thinking about what's going to happen, when I was challenged on my show to go raw vegan for 1 month. Again, that same feeling. I did not know how good I could feel. And then looking back, I was like, I felt good back then, but now I really feel good. Can I get better? If food can do this in 3 days, what else is out there for me? And that's how I got into alternative health. And that's how I got into my journey. So it's a whole thing. It's like you take that first step of maybe saying, accepting, I'll make a change. This is huge. Now, did your family embrace you at this time, or were they trying to sabotage you?
Well, my immediate family embraced me completely with this change. My husband said, this is funny. My husband said, I will do this with you for 30 days to get you started. But on day 31, I'm going to Roost Chris and I'm getting the biggest steak they have on the menu. And I told him, okay, if you do this with me for 30 days, I will go sit with you at Roost Chris while you eat your steak. Our children, we have 2 girls, 21 and 19, so they're older. They were very accepting, not interested in trying it at all. Mm-hmm. Now, outside of my home, most of my family thought I was crazy. They didn't understand the nutrition side at all, and they just thought that there's absolutely no way food is going to make you feel good. There's no way food is going to stop your gallbladder issues or, get rid of your arthritis. There's no way food could do that. If so, then everybody in the world would be doing it.
Of course,
so
right?
There wasn't a lot of acceptance. I joke with my husband a lot because his family is big on food, just as my family was. And I can remember being at a cookout when we were first in our first 30, 45 days. And my mother-in-law telling my husband, well, she won't see you eat this. If you want a bite of this cheeseburger, go ahead and take a bite. I won't tell anybody that you ate it. Just because people, they didn't understand this journey, and it was so foreign to how we ate. But luckily the people in my home were so supportive that it made it so much easier.
Okay. So as I listen to you and I listen to this afraid of change, is it really fear of change, or is it fear of not being accepted, fear of rejection of our family, the ones that brought us up? Because we deep down inside know the attitude of food in the family. And how many times did people talk about someone behind their back that is trying to do something different or trying to do something, make a change? And we are implanted this stuff from birth. So understanding that fear of rejection of our family is real. It's real. And that probably was your fear, not just of change, but of rejection for your family. Do you think about that?
That is true. Absolutely. I mean, how was I going to go to a family function and socialize with my family? How was I going to go to a birthday dinner? If I'm eating this way, and I mean, I live in the South, and here in Huntsville, Alabama, there's not one vegan restaurant in the entire town. So how was I going to continue family events if I made this change? So you're absolutely right. That fear of rejection and even just the fear of being different from everyone else, and how they were. Yeah, absolutely. That was very scary.
Well, it's great when we dig deep, we take out our soul shovel and we really listen and we come to face with our emotions, because that is what this show is about. It's about really getting real about our true beliefs, our limiting beliefs that keep us bound and tied. And today we're talking about a whole food, plant-based diet on Thriving Thursday, and Angela Hardin's embracing health and how she has created a new life for her. And we're going to continue our conversation with Angela when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Amazing, Angela. I was listening to your story, and your story is very similar to our story. Everybody's story. Because just recently I was called lucky, and I got upset about being called lucky. And I work hard. It's not about luck. I work really hard. Right. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, and so, and I had to dig deep as to why did I get so annoyed at that comment? Because, hey, people think they're lucky and some people say they're unlucky. Either way, it's their belief that gives them that belief. The belief is what makes you lucky or not lucky. But they've done studies that lucky and unlucky people have equal amount of winning chances. There's no winning. Lucky people don't win more, and the unlucky people don't lose more. You see what I'm saying? It's just the belief.
Absolutely.
And
That's
so
what,
with you, did you, because with me, I had rejection from my family when I changed my lifestyle, and that was hard. But whenever you step out, that's when you are like the president of the United States. Whenever, somebody steps out, you get, look at all the leaders, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Jesus, all the people that serves as a model. Who wants that? Right?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's like people, when you're different and there's any sort of change, or you're like, we're considered different. Like, my family is considered so different from the rest of the family. Like, we had a birthday celebration this past weekend. It was my mother-in-law's birthday, and we ate romaine lettuce with tomatoes, because they had chicken or actually I think they had sub sandwiches, and then they had lettuce and tomato for you to add to it. And that is what we ate, because they don't, nobody knows what to feed us. Nobody knows what we eat. So it makes us different, completely different.
It'll change. I'm telling you, 20 years down the road, when you're looking back, all these people are going to be coming down to you. They're going to come to you and they're saying, my doctor says I need surgery. What should I do different? People are going to be calling you. I'm borderline diabetic. What should I do? And they're going to start calling you. The same people that made fun of me have called me for help.
Oh, that's the day I wait for. A lot of my change as well had to do with my mother's health. She is disabled, and she has multiple diseases or pain. She lives with a pain pump implanted in her hip. She is medicated all the time, and she fell asleep at my daughter's high school graduation. Oh. And not because she wasn't excited, and not because she wanted to miss it. It's because of her pain level and because of the medication that she is being prescribed. And as heartbreaking as that was for me to see her go through that, and see my dad have to wake her up to see my daughter walk across the stage, that was really, as Oprah says, an aha moment, where I thought, I don't want to miss one thing. I don't want to miss something. There is no food in the world that can taste so good that I'm willing to miss out on my children, my grandchildren, on their life. I have a niece and nephew that are 4 and 3, and with my kids being grown, they're the babies of the family, and they rule the family right now. And I cannot imagine missing one event of theirs, being so sick or so disabled that I can't see something. And if changing the food that I put in my body can allow me to live a better life and see that, it was a no-brainer.
Well, I tell you what, I love your honesty, and I think all of us need to really look at that. You started young to have children, and now that you're in your 40? You're 40 now?
40. Yes, ma'am.
You have your whole life ahead of you, and this is like a second life for you, and you can really see the difference. Good job. So I'm going to talk about my social media, and then I'll reintroduce
you. You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another, and you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I'm so excited that today we are learning. Our teacher today is Angela Hardin. I saw her, when I first saw the documentary Eating You Alive, and I thought, I want her on my show. I want her on my show because she spoke her truth about fear, the fears that she had about changing her lifestyle, about eating food that's whole food, plant-based. But isn't that what we do to ourselves? Isn't that what we do, where we almost talk like an addict about our food? Our next meal is a hit. If that sounds like you, then perhaps Angela's story will motivate us to do something different. Just try something different today and see how you feel. do not to make a complete change, just see how you feel. I felt really great within 3 days of eating raw vegan. Now, I'm not saying that people need to be raw vegan because I'm no longer raw vegan, but I focus on whole food, plant-based, and I love that because it's easy. And so I want to continue this conversation on and off the air. And for those of you who need support, that you also feel scared, we're going to start some groups, some movements in Jacksonville, in Brevard County. And for those of you who are listening all over the world, join us in this because, we can do, the internet can join us like that. Could also separate us. So let's use this as a tool to heal. I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Be a part of this responsibility movement. And when I say responsibility, I'm talking about the kind of action that leads to freedom and empowerment. And so mostly people think of responsibility as fault, blame, shame, which a lot of us carry when we don't feel good about our body or we don't feel good about our lives. Whatever that is, that's what we look at. Yes, I'll take blame for it. I'll take fault for it. But responsibility, let's change the way we look at the word responsibility so that we can free ourselves from these limiting beliefs that we have. So go to whenyouneedafriend.com, become a subscriber. And when you do that, the show goes straight to you, to your smartphones, to your tablets, and let's grow together by learning a new truth. Yeah, maybe a little scary, but let's change the word fear into excitement. Something new, something different is going to happen. And so when you go to whenyouneedafriend.com, please go to my sponsors page because without my sponsors, this show would not happen. So please, I encourage you to go there, become a subscriber. And while you're there, there are a lot of social media buttons that you can subscribe to and like. So go to my YouTube page, click the button, subscribe there because we get to see and hear the on and off the air conversation. So you get little bonuses. So if you want more of the Lillian McDermott radio show stuff that's off the air, go to YouTube as well. Or whenyouneedafriend.com, click on the YouTube and subscribe there. Then there's social media. Like me in my social media, you know what they are. Just click on it, it'll take you there. And last but not least, there is the podcast and my phone. You can call me, 407-373-5959. I've been a little bit behind with my phone calls, but I promise you, tomorrow is a day that I plan on returning and letting you know if you won certain books. So keep trying, keep trying. Okay, so today we have Angela Hardin of Eating You Alive. She was featured in this documentary that is going to have a nationwide release, theatrical release on April 5th at 7 p.m. Phantom Events. Go to Phantom Events to learn if there is a theater near you. Okay, so Angela, welcome again, and thank you for your openness. I love the fact that we're digging deeper with a soul shovel until there's only truth that's coming out. So you've made the decision. Now you've made a decision. You've overcome all your fears. You're going to try this for 30 days. Now what? What do you eat? How did you eliminate the cheeses and the fried foods? And how did you do that?
Oh, it was so scary. that was the biggest thing is what in the world can I eat? And now I look back and think that's the funniest question because we all eat so much vegan food and we just don't even realize that we're eating it. Mm-hmm. But luckily I had a great support system. So, if I haven't told Marilee from the Eating You Alive team, thank you for taking all my phone calls and all my text messages saying, well, can I eat rice? Can I eat oatmeal? I know I drove her crazy, but we kept it very, very simple in the beginning because as a food addict, having a lot of choices I felt like would make it even harder for me. So we ate a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of guacamole because, who doesn't love guacamole? And they said you can eat that because it's vegan. We ate a lot of that, a lot of oatmeal. I was scared of bread because I didn't realize there was actually bread out there that we could eat. I was scared to try any of the vegan meats. I thought, you know what, we're going to just keep it as simple as we can, especially the first 30 days. just because I didn't eat a lot of choices. I ate a ton of bananas. I tried banana, the nice cream, which I was absolutely floored from the first time I tried it, that was a health food and that I hadn't had this in my life before.
Yeah.
But the first 30 days was extremely simple, a lot of repetitive food, and which worked well for me. I've said before, I'm a creature of habit. So eating the same meal for breakfast is not a problem for me. It makes it easy. I don't have to think about it. Eating the same meal for lunch, again, super easy, nothing to think about, no risk of eating something that I shouldn't eat. I really think in the very beginning, or I will say the first 10 days, cutting out caffeine, because when we made this transition, we being me and my husband, we cut out all animal products, all caffeine, sugar, and oil right at the beginning.
Yeah, those are your drugs, huh?
Yes, they were. So the sugar and caffeine were the hardest parts. I was such a Starbucks espresso drinker that at my local Starbucks, they knew my order. And when I walked in, they asked me, was I getting 1 or 2 coffees that day? That's all they had to ask. So to cut that out cold turkey, I mean, I had a coffee on Saturday. On Sunday, we were vegan and I didn't have a coffee anymore. I remember our administrative assistant telling me that in those first 10 days to just stay in my office, that I was so grouchy that I didn't even realize the facial expressions that I was making in meetings, that she would come to me if someone needed me, but for me just to stay away so that I could keep my job for the first 10 days.
You were detoxing.
It was, yes, I was detoxing. I thought, gosh, this must be what people go through when they are coming off a drug. I can't even imagine. I was grumpy. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to go to sleep. But I will tell you, on day 11, and I kid you not, on day 11, I woke up and turned to my husband and said, this is the lifestyle for me. I should have been eating this way my entire life. I had no idea I could feel this good in 10 days.
So in 10 days, that was the trip for you. Now let's talk about what kind of illnesses you have. You talked about your gallbladder and that became an issue. I also read in your bio that you had been taking ADHD medication since you were 5.
Yes, ma'am.
And that you no longer need that?
No, I am off. I came off my ADHD medication about 1.5 years ago. So I am completely off everything.
And your sleeping pills, no more?
No more. I was off the sleeping pills within the first 30 days.
Amazing. And so here you are on day 11, feeling like what, $1 million? What caused the change?
I don't know if it was the detox in that first 11 days or, mainly the first 10 days, but the headaches were gone. I didn't even realize I had headaches every day. I think it was probably around that 10 to 15 days that my husband said, I didn't know that you could feel this good. I feel like I have a new wife. And I mean, that's pretty powerful to say in 10 days.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
And well, as you're going through, and now that you've gone, this is 3 years now, right?
It'll be 3 years in August.
And so you were talking about you were a size 20, a 2X, and you shared off the air how much you weighed. Did you want to share how much you weighed then?
I was around 250 pounds.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7", 250. Where are you now?
Right now I'm at about, I rotate or go between 160 and 165.
And it looks fabulous on you. You look great.
Thank you.
And so you went from a size 20 to a size?
I am in a 4'6" now.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
I tell you, I pick up clothes and I think that they're missized. Like when I put on a pair of pants that are a size 6, I'm thinking this must be in the tagged bin. There's no way that I'm picking up a size 6. Or
isn't it funny? You're still feeding yourself that line. You're still feeding yourself that line, except it was that, they were too small and now it's too big. So either way, you're doing an awesome job. This is what a whole food, plant-based lifestyle will do. It will change the way you look at things as well, but you got to do the work because there's a lot of limitations that got you there, a lot of limiting beliefs. And that's what the fear is. What's there? And we're going to continue our conversation with Angela Hardin on this Thriving Thursday when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Isn't that amazing? You're still saying the same thing.
I do. This is a funny story to me. So I have all of my jeans are size 6s. I can wear some size 4, but I'm very hippie, which I'm okay with. I don't want to lose that. But my pants started falling down, my size 6s, and I turned to my 21-year-old and I said, what is going on? Are they too small? Should I go up a size? And she's like, no, Mom, you need a belt. And I'm like, a belt? What's the belt gonna do? I mean, large people don't wear belts. And she's like, it's gonna keep your pants from falling down. So I have a belt. I think probably for the first time since I was a little kid, I actually had to go buy a belt to keep my jeans up. And here I was, I thought I needed to go up a size, that they were too small and they were falling down. It's just crazy what we think.
Well, how your daughter is now, because this is so exciting. You're so young and you're now starting a new life. I mean, I feel like my life started at 50 and here you are at 40. So your future is so different today because you made this change 3 years ago. Imagine if you had not.
Oh, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine eating the way I was eating, or the health issues that would have continued to get worse and worse. Luckily, both of my children are vegan now. They made the change on their own. About a year and a half in, it was kind of a funny thing. They started just eating the food, and we were like, look, we want you to eat the food, but you're still eating your food. So, pick or choose, because we're limited on what we eat. You have a lot more choices. And then just on their own, they said, we want to make the change. We want to do it. And it's an amazing thing. We've even taken the dog vegan. Even the dog is vegan.
The dog is vegan
now. Like even the dog.
That's
and
funny.
He loves it because he's never gotten table food before. And now he gets good, healthy, cooked meals, and he's living like a little puppy prince. He loves it.
What kind of dog is it?
A Yorkie.
Oh, they're so cute. Was this like a new dog that you started with vegan food, or was he eating other things?
No, we've had him for 10 years. And the crazy thing is just how the vegan food has made us feel great, and we have all this energy and we feel amazing. He is like a puppy again. He wants to play fetch, and he wants to go for walks, and he goes running with me. I mean, it has been amazing to see the transition even in the animal.
Awesome.
That eating this way has made.
That's awesome. How much time do we have, Brian, before we go back? 5 seconds. Okay, here we go. So this is our last segment. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow. This has happened so fast.
I know. It always does. Your last dance.
You can count on.
Isn't it funny how we get comfortable? The first time it's like, then last time it's like.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. Today's teacher is Angela Hardin. She was featured in the documentary Eating You Alive, which I absolutely love. And I'm so excited that the theatrical debut of Eating You Alive is on April 5th. It's only one day. So it's up to us to decide, do we want to educate ourselves or not? I would love to create an event. And of course, my Jack's vegan couple is probably listening today. And I'd love to create an event where we all come together, whether you're vegan or not, just learning about it, or would like to be curious about health and what we've been lied to about health. We just don't know what we don't know. And so when you watch this documentary, you will learn every aspect of health. Not just the the physical aspect of it, but there's the emotional, there's the medical, there's the pharmaceuticals, and there's all this other stuff that all works against us. The food industry and the pharmaceutical industry, this is my own personal opinion, is in cahoots with one another. They feed one another. If you eat well, you don't need the pill. And if you do need the pill, it might be temporary or may need less of it because you're eating well. Nothing does to your body, nothing does for your body when it comes to food, nothing does your body better than a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. We hear it from all our doctors. We hear it from Dr. Joel Fuhrman, Neil Bernard. We hear it from Dr. Freeman. We hear it from all of them. So now it's time to make this choice. Now, Angela, I want to acknowledge you for making this choice because fear can bring us to a new level of not trying anything. Fear can get us from opportunity to missed opportunities. And you grabbed a hold of this opportunity. And as a result, you are, my dear, a generational pattern shifter. That means the buck stops with you. You've changed your family genes because of that choice.
Wow. That's a powerful statement right there. That is amazing. That brings tears to my eyes because my children now talk about when they have kids that they will raise them vegan. And just to think that a simple choice to get healthy and has changed everything that my family will do from now on is that if that doesn't warm your soul, I don't know what could, but that is fills my heart with joy.
Good. Well, it fills my heart with joy too. And I hope that for people who are listening that, because vegan, there's a negative connotation with vegan. And you and I talked about it off the air, that there's a negative connotation and perhaps maybe that is like we were talking about this born again type of mentality. You want everybody to do it so that we come across as, maybe pushy. We want to be accepted and embraced for our beliefs, for what we do. But it's about, preaching the gospel at all times, if necessary, use words. It's about seeing your life change to the point where people want what you have. Can you think of a time in your experience in your 3 years where you didn't have to say a word? Perhaps maybe it was a reunion or something where people wanted to know what you were doing, what surgery you did, what procedure you did, whatever it is. And you can just say, I did this with food.
Yes, actually, so I do marketing for a living for a government contractor, and I handle all of our trade shows. So the trade show industry we've all been doing it for years. So we all know each other and you see each other at the same show. So it was a year difference from one show in September to the following show. And someone that I talk to all the time walked by my booth, walked right by me, turned around and came back and said, "Oh my God, I didn't even recognize you. What have you been doing?" Mm-hmm. And when I told them that it was all food, they were absolutely floored. They were like, you're not taking a diet pill? You mean you've not had some sort of surgery? You have dramatically changed this much just over food. And I think the best compliment that person gave me was, you radiate health. You glow. You look like you feel amazing. And to me, I've said before, the weight loss was a byproduct, but my skin, my soul on the inside, everything feels better. And for someone to acknowledge that meant that I knew that I was doing the right thing.
So as you have this conversation with this person, that was a positive uplifting because they handled themselves in a way that was honoring of your choice. How many people have come to you and go, "Are you sick? What's wrong with you?" Have you had people like that?
I have had, and I've actually had family members that have done that, that have said, you look very sick. Like you even look older now that you've lost weight.
Oh,
And I'm like, but
absolutely not.
yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Everyone else says I look so much younger. How are you saying that? But I think it's, the losing the weight in your face. And I think maybe that's it. But of course I have learned along this journey that the people that can be the closest to you
Yes.
can come across so negative because they also fear change.
Correct.
It's not really one of the biggest things that I have learned in this journey is how people react to you is more of a reflection of them
Absolutely.
than it is of you. And that has been a hard thing for me to grasp because, one, I want everybody to eat this way. I think everybody should try this. I don't know why everyone hasn't. But especially the people that I love. When I know that I have someone that's suffering from anxiety, that I know that they can help cure that by food. My mother, who is disabled and doesn't get around and has a hard time driving, she could be a completely different person by
Yes.
changing food. It is, that's where that preachiness, I guess, comes in. But you're going to have negativity because people fear change, and everybody that you think's on your bandwagon isn't always there to see you succeed.
No, there are people who actually do want to see you fail because they want to be right about their fears. They want to be
Absolutely.
And you're absolutely right. Isn't it wonderful how you've been able, just by taking the step towards healing your body, that you've been able to see a different truth in your life? That you've been able to
Absolutely.
dig deep and say, okay, why did I allow this to happen? And now it wasn't about why did I allow it as a fault thing. It's like, what was missing in me? What can I say now? You have a new voice. And as you speak your truth, you realize it's going to rub people the wrong way. But you're absolutely right when you say it's more about them than it is by you. If you continue living your truth, two things are going to happen. You're going to attract people or you're going to repel people. And you have to decide, am I okay with that? And by you giving yourself that permission, go ahead.
I have absolutely learned that it is okay to repel people. That sometimes
it's
even
your light.
the people, it is. And I have learned, and I actually think Will Smith said this in an Instagram post that he did, that find people that fuel your flame. And that is something that I have really done is, find people that fuel you, that want to see you succeed and want the best for you. And sometimes the people that are the closest to you that you love the most, maybe the people pouring water on your flame.
Yep, absolutely. And that is part of why we are afraid to change. It's that fear of being rejected by those we love the most. And I want to acknowledge you, Angela, for saying, you know what? I love me the most. I love me the most. And that's how you can make that change. And I hope you, my listeners and my viewers today, that you got to see your story through Angela, because it takes a lot of courage, right? To step away from what we're comfortable with. But comfortable can kill us, huh? Right, Angela?
Yes, it can.
Comfortable can kill us.
Yes, it can.
And we don't even know we're being choked and strangled. And so, Angela, I want to thank you again for being part of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. I'm looking forward to more opportunities to come together and have this discussion again.
Thank you.
And to you, my listening friends, you've got a choice. Food can be a weapon of mass destruction or a tool to heal every cell in your body. What will you choose? Please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
Ever.
I think there's a delay. You did awesome. Awesome. Isn't it amazing
so much.
how we just dig a little? How much more? It's like when you peel that layer of the onion. There have been many times in my life where I've felt I've dealt with that issue. But then when you deal with it at a different level, you can peel more out.
Absolutely. It is, I never imagined that making a change in the food that I eat would fundamentally change the way I think, the way I view the world, the amount of love that I have for people. It is that saying that food is powerful and it is medicine is understated, because everything about me is different because I change the food that I eat.
It's amazing. What else can we say? It's amazing that this happens to us and we don't know. And we are being duped in a way. So, okay, I had a doctor come on my show. It was Bruce Lipton. I don't know if you've ever read the Biology of Belief. And I didn't quite understand. He's like the father of epigenetics. I mean, he is just an amazing man. And he talks about how thought trumps your DNA, your belief. If you believe you're going to die, you will die. If you believe this food's going to make you healthy, and it actually has, it's true, the food is a healthy food, it's going to turn off your DNA. So if you have a predisposition for cancer in the family, you don't have to get it because you've changed the way that you think about it. And when you change the way you think about it, you'll act differently. So you think, you feel, you act. That's the way it goes. And that trumps your DNA. And so just because you changed your food, it changed how you felt about food. So the thought about food, then you felt differently, and now you act differently. It's all a pattern. And you have, like I said, you have changed it was amazing to see you when we were on the air, when I said you are a generational pattern shifter. But generational pattern shifters are different than the rest of the family. And we're criticized for everything we do different.
Yes, I have been, but it is, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't take back that criticism. I don't even mind when people are like, "You're so weird." Like, even sometimes my kids say that because
say thank you.
Well,
weird is good.
Like I said, sometimes I do now. That's exactly what I say. I'm like, I embrace it. It's part of me. But as I've made this journey of changing to this lifestyle, my taste buds have changed so much. So now it is, sometimes I say, I don't know how much healthier I can get, but I just keep craving healthier foods. Like, I don't need salad dressing on my salad. Just lettuce tastes so good. Who knew lettuce tasted good? Who knew there were so many varieties of lettuce? And I'm new to butter lettuce. Like, oh my gosh, that's one of the most amazing things I've ever eaten. My husband laughed at me the other night and said,
I haven't looked because I know there's so many different, and I know iceberg has gotten just like this bum rap, but is butter lettuce as nutritious as romaine, or do they all have the same value?
I think so. I haven't looked up that. I will do it. I'm just on I'm on a mission now to just try different lettuces. But I was getting so excited about butter lettuce and romaine the other night. And my husband said, "Okay, that's it. I think you're just going to be eating grass in the next year because no one gets this excited to try a new lettuce." But it tastes so good. And I drink 64 ounces of green smoothie in the morning, and there's no sugar in it. It's just greens and fruit and flaxseed and chia seed. And the entire time I'm drinking it, I'm going, "Oh, this tastes so good. Do you want to try it?" Like, I'm the one walking around work with little mini cups of green smoothie going, "Here, try this. I promise it tastes amazing."
Starbucks must miss you.
Yes, they definitely do. My Starbucks habit was so bad that it was a line item in our budget every month.
Wow.
Yes.
There was a video that just came out. I think it went viral, that people who buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks a day, they did the calculation that if they would have taken that money, saved it, and invested it, they could be millionaires. Think about that.
Oh, wow. That's depressing.
Well, it's true. It's funny the way they calculated it and everything. It's just like, wow. Now, what was the link? I wanted to ask. I didn't ask it during the show, but what was the link? Why did you have to give up coffee? Because I don't drink coffee. I drink tea, herbal teas. I don't drink caffeine because I'm up all night if I do, even if I drink it in the morning. But what was the link for you with giving up coffee? I mean, you gave up everything at one time.
Well, I tend to have this habit to where if I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it 100%, just right from the jump. So I felt like with the readings that I did and being a food addict, that caffeine can trigger other cravings. And especially they say cravings for sugar and carbs and a lot of the things that I was trying to avoid. So I thought, you know what, if I'm going to dive in, I'm just going to jump in head first and I'm going to eliminate everything and go from there. Now, I will say over this last 2.5, almost 3 years, I've had a Starbucks twice. They didn't affect me. Didn't have a problem going to sleep. One time we went to see Black Panther and it was like an 8:30 showing. And I normally go to bed at 8:30 because I get up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym 5 days a week. And I had to have something to drink because I didn't want to fall asleep in the middle of the movie. But I just, for me personally, I don't think I don't think caffeine is bad. I have a friend that has gone vegan since I've done this and she still drinks coffee. And she's so funny because anytime I see her, she's like, I'm sorry, I know. I'm like, look, what works for me works for me. Don't feel bad because you're drinking coffee. There's nothing wrong with it. You know drink
what?
it.
There is. And have your friend look into it because I just wanted to know what the connection was with your story. But caffeine depletes the bone so that the number one cause of osteoporosis is milk, believe it or not. And coffee is there too.
Okay. Well, I thank you for that. I will share.
Check it out. No,
I will definitely share that.
Yeah, check it out and then share. Because I love for people to, we talk about a new truth on the show, but this is a truth I've discovered from doing shows with people like you, the teachers on my show. And I've learned that and stress, I'm trying to remember what the third one was, but there's 3 causes. And milk is the number one cause of childhood diabetes. So there's, you're so lucky that you've caught this and that the body is so forgiving and it wants to heal quickly, and you're young that your body can heal so quickly. But caffeine is one of the causes of osteoporosis. I know.
Oh, wow. See, look, and I didn't even know it and I just went ahead and cut it out. So,
but you see, once you start listening to your body, it's amazing all the different things that it tells you. You didn't even know your body was speaking to you.
It is. That
it was affecting you.
I know. And now I travel a lot with my job and I have started traveling with my Vitamix mixer because my body craves my green smoothies. And I didn't take it on this last trip and I was gone for almost 2 weeks. And when I got home, all I wanted was a green smoothie. And it is amazing what our body does tell us if we listen.
So that's a big suitcase. So if you're traveling a lot, because I travel sometimes with I always travel with food because I have food allergies. And so I batch cook. I make a big old bowl of my raw breakfast, like veggies. I put greens. So I put kale and broccoli, not broccoli, kale and spinach. And then I have blueberries, and then I have the flax seeds and banana and coconut milk, that creamed coconut milk that's no sugar. And sometimes I put coconut flakes in it. And it is so delicious to me. It's like a little porridge, but it doesn't have, I was putting gluten-free oatmeal in there and letting it soak overnight and it cooks, and it kind of cooks it in a way. But I stopped doing that because I just learned that there's no such thing as gluten-free. Sucks. But
really?
Yeah, because I was experiencing some symptoms and I've just eliminated a lot of the grains. This doctor, his name is Dr. Peter Osborne. He came on the show. He wrote the book, No Pain, No Grain, No Pain. And so he says that even quinoa has gluten in it. It's just a different kind of gluten that's not been labeled by the FDA. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
I use my body just like you did. I use my body to see, okay, is this good? Are you speaking to me, body? And I know by my symptoms if my body is speaking to me saying thank you, or if it's saying no way, Jose. So this I was putting oatmeal, the gluten-free oatmeal, because I know I have gluten allergies or sensitivities, and that was that was causing my body a reaction. It was causing a reaction in my body, and I didn't know what it was. And so I eliminated that, and I'm feeling so much better. Yeah,
Wow, that is
I've got the
amazing.
chia, and I've got the flax seeds, and I put some nuts in there. Do you soak your nuts? Do you do the raw nuts?
We do. Yes, we do nuts.
How do you
With
do?
our youngest daughter has a nut allergy, so we are limited to what we do with nuts. So we don't make a lot of the nut-based foods, just because it's hard to label what she can and can't eat. So if we just eliminate it, we don't worry. However, when I am outside of this house, I consume nuts because I love them.
Yeah. What's her allergy? Peanut? Or
It is actually macadamian and pistachios.
oh, well, can she have cashews and walnuts?
She cannot. They've told us to completely avoid all nuts. She can have coconut, which I know some people that have nut allergies can't, but she can still have coconut. It doesn't affect her. But
Mm.
we're hoping to get her retested here in about 6 months and see if, after being vegan for 2 years, if any of those allergies change.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad that you guys are still listening and tweaking and making exciting. Now, when was the last time you had a fried pickle?
Oh my God, it's been 3 years, almost 3 years.
Are you tempted to have any?
Not at all. Now the smell of grease makes my stomach turn. Like, I
Yes.
even walked into a vegan restaurant in LA and was like, yep, I can't eat here. The entire place reeks of grease, and I know what it's going to do to my body. So
Well,
I'm good.
let me tell you, I'm very cautious about. I'm glad that you stayed away from the vegan meats and all of that, because I was at a veg fest not too long ago, and the lines, barbecue, seitan, chicken, the lines were so long, and I'm thinking, we're doing the same thing for whole food, plant-based, or vegan as the regular standard American diet. We're taking these foods that were in the standard American diet killing us, and now let's make some healthy foods kill us. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now
So the
we did.
oils, the sugars, and all
Oh,
that. Go ahead.
Oh, I know. We did some of the vegan meats in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We tried some of them, but now we don't eat those. We use oyster mushrooms if we want to make something that has a meaty texture. Jackfruit. Oh my gosh, who knew jackfruit was so amazing and could taste like everything? I mean, and my husband actually puts jackfruit in the smoker and smokes it just like he used to do his ribs and his barbecue. And I mean, it is amazing when he cooks jackfruit. We have people that are non-vegans that swear up and down that is real meat. There's no way that what we're eating is a fruit. But yeah, if you look at some of those vegan meats, I mean, they're 20% fat from coconut oil. That's not any healthier than if you did deep fry your pickle. I mean, that's you're getting the same bad things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of scary that we're like creeping up and we're doing these things to ourselves. And now we're taking something I think that's why the whole food plant-based movement has kind of separated from vegan, because we want to make sure that you're a healthy vegan, not just,
Absolutely.
eating French fries and Diet Coke, So I just want
Right.
to acknowledge you again. Thank you so much, Angela, for this time and for sharing. You're welcome back anytime that you want to give us an update on maybe some of the choices that you're making, or maybe some of the recipes that you love that will help somebody make their choices too. So thank you so much. And,
Thank you
and
so
thank
much.
you for viewing, and I look forward to our next conversation.